Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, all between. Jason, my brother, how you doing?
I'm very well. How you doing, bud?
Good, man. I was just cranking some Cactus. We were taping this early, so I might have pissed off the neighbors tonight. Really,
That's
but Bad Mama Boogie was the last one. That was a live version in New York. And anyway, so let's bring Fred on because Carmine has done so much in rock. It's unbelievable.
right.
Between him and his brother, probably the best beat, and definitely of all the, if you take into account all the classic songs, all the really great music, Appice and Appice are connected to it. You know what I mean? So let's bring on Fred. Good morning, Mr. Metalhead Fred. What's happening?
Hi, guys. V, Jason, how are you guys tonight?
Great.
So
tell us who we have on the show.
Well, we're going to get right to it. We got another legend, and I'm not talking about myself this time. I'm talking about the legendary drummer, Carmine Appice, who has hit the skins with Vanilla Fudge, Rod Stewart, King Cobra, Blue Murder, Ted Nugent, Ozzy Osbourne, Jeff Beck, and Paul Stanley, just to name a few. He's back with his band Cactus and a new album, Temple of Blues, Influences and Friends, due for a June 7th release with a boatload of guest musicians, which include Ted Nugent, Joe Bonamassa, Pat Travers, Rudy Sarzo, Dee Schneider, Billy Sheehan, just to name a few. So obviously we got a lot to talk about. So please welcome to Creativity Talking, Carmine Appice.
What's happening?
There's my picture.
Okay, so I'm going to start out the same way I started out when we interviewed your brother Vinny. How cool were your
parents? If you did my brother Vinny, I'm out of here.
How cool were your parents to have two drummers in the family?
Well, they were cool. My mother was a rock fan, you know. She said she had a pad made. She goes, "Mary is my name, rock and roll is my game."
That's awesome.
I thought that was pretty wild, you know, that she did that.
Yeah.
And nobody in the family, in our immediate family, my brothers and sisters, were musically inclined except for me and Vinny, you know, and it just happened, you know. I mean, there are 7 drummers in my father's side of the family. I was number 2.
Wow.
And that's how I started, from seeing my cousin Joey's drum set at his house. You know, we're Italian family, always went over everybody's house, you know.
Of course.
Right.
And I played his drums. I come home, I banged the pots and pans. They bought me toy drum sets. I broke them. And after a while, they bought me a real drum set at the very first Sam Ash store.
Oh, wow.
In Utica Avenue in Brooklyn. It was sitting on the top of the shelf. It was an old kind of, I don't know what year it was, but it was a really cheap, it was a real drum set. It was a snare drum, a bass drum, and a cymbal, you know. And that's what I started on. And with that, I played my first gig, $7 I got paid,
Nice.
you know. And then I kept playing and practicing. I took lessons, and then I got up to a good drum set. And meanwhile, then my cousin Joey, then me, then my cousin Frankie, my cousin Anthony, cousin Tommy. None of the girls, obviously. And then my brother Vinny, and my son plays a bit, but he doesn't do it, and he doesn't care. I mean, nobody else really plays for a living except me and Vinny, you know. And I was the first one in the family to make it. And when I made it with Vanilla Fudge, I, out of the necessity of big amps to play against, I started playing louder and harder.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I started something called heavy rock drumming, which I didn't know I was starting. I was just doing what had to be done to be heard.
Yeah.
You know, and I play with the butt end of my stick, and now my stick has a tip at the end here, if you see it.
Yeah.
You know, most sticks have the tip here. So when you play with the tip here, it's a much fatter sound on the drums.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys don't really realize that, but I've been doing that since 1968, probably 67. So I used to do the twirl, and I had the twirl going like this, you know.
Yeah.
So the twirl and I'd hit like that. And I used to play with the butt end. And then when I got endorsed in 1981, I think it was with Regal tip, I said, well, let's put a tip at the other end because I always play butt end. And I figured the tip would make it bounce a bit better, which it did.
Yeah.
And then I went from them to Vic Firth. And Vic Firth sticks since 1989. I'm still playing them.
Nice.
You know, but that's really how it started. Oh, you got a pair there?
Yep.
There you go. Are you a drummer?
I actually just lost 30 pounds playing the drums. I used to play the drums back in the day because I was a singer and the drummer is always late.
You lost 30 pounds. Boy, how'd you do that? I don't do that.
I started eating rye bread because I'm a bullhawk, so I had some rye bread, some tuna sandwiches, some smoothies, and I played drums.
Did you say you're a what?
Bullhawk, Bohemian, Slovak,
Oh, I didn't know that. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it's a Chicago term, I
So
guess.
just what, playing drums in your house?
Yeah, I got an electric kit 3 feet from me.
And that made you lose weight?
Yeah.
That's his cardio.
Yeah,
Wow.
apparently I looked it up because
I practice on a drum pad, right, for 30 minutes. And then I get on the treadmill and then weights and sit-ups. And I get my heart rate up, to 115, 120 every other day. And I didn't lose 30 pounds.
I just signed up, Carmine. I just signed up for a class at our health club, and it's called Pound, and it's an aerobic class that you work with weighted drumsticks.
Oh, wow.
Really?
I can't wait to start
Yeah,
this
there's a
class.
bunch of,
Weighted
like,
drumsticks.
Wow.
Yeah,
Let
there's a
me
bunch
know
of-
about that because
because
I can do weighted drumsticks right here.
you burn more calories playing a regular beat
And that'll help your
than you do.
your wrist as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the running.
Fred, are you a drummer too?
No, I have a drum set in my downstairs that I inherited from my father-in-law. But my goal is, I'm taking guitar lessons right now. My goal is to get good enough on the guitar and then maybe try the drums.
You're trying to be Ingve.
Yeah.
I can only take
drum-
like 10 minutes ahead.
Drums was my first love when I was in grade school, and I just never followed through with it. But I have it set downstairs, and my wife said maybe we should sell it. And I said no, because someday I'm going to go down there and learn to play the
I
damn
wish you could
drums.
see this set. Can you see
Oh,
that
yeah.
set?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That set is a combination. The bass drums are Ludwig. Those bass drums are 1971 Ludwigs that I actually played with Cactus.
Oh, wow.
Right, and then the top part of it is D drum tom toms. They're painted candy apple red, and
Nice.
then I have a pink leopard Slingerland snare drum, wood, 2004 Radio King. I got lots of different drums in the closet. I got old snare drums in 1924 Ludwig
Oh, wow.
Black Beauty, and different things like that. But when
Yeah.
I turned 75, D drum made a Carmine snare drum with a logo, badge on it.
Nice.
I got a lot of different ones, and I got so many drums in LA that I'm running sales on them. At Don, his name is Don Bennett. Don Bennett's Vault on the internet. So if anybody wants some of my cool stuff, I'm going out to LA to. I got so many cymbals. I'm going to autograph all the cymbals. I got a Slingerland drum set that's, I don't know what it's worth. It was the very last drum set Slingerland company made in America before they closed the factory. And it's got 4 bass drums, 10, 12, 14, 13, 16, 18, 20 toms, a snare drum. They're all Radio King, which is unique.
Mm.
I never even played them. When you open up the case, it smells like paint.
Oh, nice.
It's purple leopard.
Wow.
When I was slinging, all my drums were leopard, red leopard, pink leopard, regular gold leopard, this purple leopard.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I saw a gold leopard.
they sounded so good, those Slingerland drums. And I have another set that D drum did. It was the ES, Carmine ES drum set, which was ES standing for Ed Sullivan. So when Vanilla Fudge was on the Ed Sullivan, I had a specific drum set, and they duplicated it. I got one of those, and those are numbered. There were only 100 made,
Wow.
That's cool.
So, but they sit in a locker, and I got another Mapex, beautiful Mapex double bass drum kit. We got some old Ludwig 22-inch bass drums. And it's got so much stuff. I got the big gong that I play with on everybody. I never use it anymore. I mean,
Right.
when I was playing arenas and all that, it was easy. It traveled with the semi. But now, I'm playing more theaters, and some of them are fly-ins, and I can't take gongs, fly-in and gongs. So,
Right, 'cause a lot of people
I have
don't
a
even
smaller one. I
realize-
have a smaller one that I use for those shows. If I'm taking my gear, my drums, I take the gong. But
Yeah.
I got this huge one, 52-inch, that I used on all the bands: Rod Stewart, Ozzy, Ted Nugent, BBA, all those bands.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, a lot
they're
of
like,
people don't realize.
you hear that noise? That's my gardener.
Oh,
Can you hear
we have
that?
cicadas here.
Yeah,
so
sorry
if you hear
about that.
it's-
Oh, that's
They got one of
no,
these
no.
trucks, those little things. They ride it, and it just rides over and shoots the
Absolutely.
grass out.
I
Yeah.
wish I had that when I was a kid, man,
Yeah.
huffing it out an acre and a half with the push mower.
Yeah.
But
So,
speaking
hey,
of
V,
which,
could you make your mic a little louder? Everyone else is loud but you.
yeah,
Turn it up.
turn it up. How's that?
Nobody's ever told V he's not loud.
Right.
Well, either that or talk louder.
Yeah,
I mean, my voice is screwed. I don't know what happened to it. I lost the top end. I sound like a mafia guy. Now I look like a mafia guy, and I sound like a mafia guy.
right.
Like Robert De Niro yesterday on the news.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was screaming. So
No, that was ridiculous. Why is he sticking his nose into it?
I didn't see it yet. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to check
So
it out.
stupid.
it's
made
really
us
freaking
cool.
actor,
The past
you know?
few years, it's blown my
I
mind.
like him, but he's an actor. You know what? I
Right.
mean, I got a chance to stick my head into politics, but I don't, because you get people that don't like it, who you stick in your head, and you lose some of your audience.
Yeah,
I think he lost a lot of fans last night.
yeah.
Yes, he did.
By doing that. Because, that's why they get these actors in it, and they do politics. They're freaking actors. They're
Right.
not politicians, they're actors. They're
Yeah.
normal people, but, they're using their celebrity to go against whatever their party they're in,
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's silly.
And if you're an entertainer, you should want to entertain 100% of the audience.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what entertainment's for. It's not for 5% or 10% or this group,
Yeah.
that group. That's just ridiculous.
Anyway,
But
Yeah.
speaking of which,
let's
Um,
talk of what we're here for.
yeah, the lasagna pan story with John Lennon when your mom asked for the lasagna
Where did you hear
pan
that?
from your
Where did
brother.
you hear? Oh, my
Vinny
brother?
told that- yeah,
You
Vinny
shouldn't
told
be
that.
telling that story because it's in my book.
Oh shit!
I
Sorry.
want to sell books.
Well, you can bust his balls later. But that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
great.
That was a
So
great story.
me and Jason were talking earlier, and Jason was born after Cactus, and so he's talking about it, he's like, "Holy shit!" I mean, we reacted to the new Evil.
Yeah.
Fantastic, by the way.
Right?
Yeah.
New album
And
sounds.
the video came out great.
Yeah, we did a reaction to it. D sounds better than ever.
Yeah, decent. When I told McCarty, who's the original guitar player, I was going to get D. Snyder to sing. He goes, "You remember that guy from Twisted Sister?" I said, "Yeah."
Yeah,
He goes, "Oh, come on, man." I said, "Dude, trust me, okay? He's going to do great." When I played it for him, he said, "Man, he sounds like Rusty Day, who was our original singer."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, he does, because he's a big fan of Rusty,
yeah.
And then Doug Pinnick on bass, awesome.
Oh,
I just cut my part yesterday in my studio. I put green screen up in front of all the gold records and stuff. It's like I have like a bar, like a curtain bar that goes around the whole studio, and then everything's green. And we cut one way or another yesterday. Ted Nugent already did his, and Doug Pinnick did his in L.A., and he sang it too. So they're going to start editing that, and that'll be out soon. And then we're finishing Parchment Farm. We're waiting for Bonamonte's people to get back to us, and if and when he can do it. And Billy Steen comes back from his tour June 7th.
Yeah.
He's going to put the bass on that.
Nice.
And I already did mine. McCarty did his. And our singer's doing his today. So that'd be the third single. I mean, I've been with Cleopatra on and off for a lot of years. It's the first time we've ever done multiple singles and multiple videos. My last album was an instrumental album with Appice Perdomo, and we did 2 videos, but we paid for them.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
But this is, they're behind it all because the story is the owner of the company, who I knew for a long time, Brian Pereira, came up to me and said, I got an idea. I said, what? He said, I'd like to do an album with everyone that was influenced by Cactus.
Right.
I said, wow, that's a good album. You know, I said, good idea and a good album, and a good concept for an album. So he said, you think you can do it? I said, come on, dude. I did Guitar Zeus. I don't know if you guys heard Guitar Zeus. You heard my Guitar Zeus record?
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I haven't. No,
Fred? No? Okay. Fred, have you heard it?
I have not. No, I'm sorry. I have
Okay,
not.
go on YouTube and put in Carmine Appice Guitar Zeus. 37 songs come up.
wow.
I got everybody on it except Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, and Jimmy Page. Name a guitar player. Come on, give me a guitar player.
Yngwie.
Yeah, he's on it.
Richie
Give me another
Blackmore.
one. He's
Eddie
not
Van
on it.
Halen. Eddie.
He's dead.
Well,
He would have been
I
on it,
guess
but
this
he's
was a while
dead.
ago. Okay.
Give me another one.
Sammy Hagar.
He's not a guitar player. He's a singer.
Well, he plays guitar though. He plays guitar.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
Okay.
Ronnie Montrose.
All right, you guys.
All right,
you stumped me.
Vivian Campbell.
Yes, he's on it. Yes.
Steve
Okay.
Stevens.
Brian May, Vivian Campbell, Slash, Yngwie, Ty Tabor, Dweezil Zappa, Ted
Dweezil,
Nugent. I don't know. There's
Nice.
more. Okay.
Right.
Anyway, so I figure, well, if I can do that, I can certainly do Cactus. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, so
So I
me and
did. I
Jason were
said, look,
talking.
let's call it Influences and Friends.
Yeah.
Right? And that
Absolutely.
made sense because some
Yeah.
of these guys on the cover were my friends.
Look
Yeah.
at this. Look
Yeah.
at all those people.
See if you can name it. Come on, name them.
We got Ted Nugent, Steve Stevens, Joe Bonamassa, Sykes, Billy Sheehan.
Sykes,
Ted-
wait, Sykes? Did you say Sykes?
Is that John Sykes?
Nope.
There's Doug Aldrich. I see
yes.
Doug
Doug
Aldrich.
Aldrich, that's right.
Yeah, sorry.
Ripper Owens,
Tony Franklin. Rudy
The
Sarza.
Yeah.
Pat Travers,
Yep.
Warren Haynes.
Yeah.
Doug. There's
Randy
Bumblefoot.
Jackson,
Orion.
Yep. Bumblefoot, yeah.
Rudy Sarzo.
Yeah, you said that already.
Vernon Reed. I see Vernon
Yeah,
up there.
yeah.
Marco Mendoza. I see.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, the new album sounds great. And
You
this
did good.
morning,
You did good.
my
did good.
playlist prior to talking to you was Parchment Farm, Tightrope, Evil, One Way or Another, and Bad Mama Boogie.
Okay. Tightrope, great song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And me and Jason were
And
talking.
a great video. I love the video.
And me and Jason think Zeppelin's overrated. And
Who?
we think that Cactus totally blows away Led Zeppelin.
Oh,
Just-
well, thank you.
Oh.
Well,
just
Led Zeppelin, we were called the American Led Zeppelin back in the day. You know,
Well,
Which is-
Bonham took Jason, tell about the drums with the
Oh no, I was just telling these guys that I'd heard you in other interviews talk about how when Zeppelin was over, when they were opening up for you guys, that you approached, you were endorsed by Ludwig,
yes.
and you turned Ludwig on to Bonham.
Yeah,
And,
I made the call. I made the phone call. Say, I think they're going to be big. The understatement of about 6 decades, right?
Yeah, you knocked that one out of the park.
But I have a picture at. Hold on, I might even have it here. I could show you. It's a picture of me and Bonham with the same drum set that I had gotten him. 1 minute, where is it? Hello, where is it? No, that's not it. Oh, here we go. Okay, can you see? Can you guys see that?
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, which one's me? Which one is me?
I would say the bottom photo, but it's kind of hard to tell.
I'm the top.
Yeah, the top. You can always tell by the
Yeah.
signature mustache.
Yeah, and Bonzo has a mustache too. He's got the two bass drums because I was his idol, so he told me, and it's also been written up in the book. So
Yeah.
it's not coming from me, and he wanted the same kit. He played that kit in '69 when we toured together again with them. And the funny thing was, Robert and Jimmy said, "You're too busy with two bass drums. Take one away." So when you take one away, it became that Led Zeppelin drum set. All oversized drums. It was maple. It was like mine. And we were good friends.
Yeah.
But people don't understand when they opened up for us, nobody knew John Bonham.
Right.
Nobody knew Robert Plant. They were brand new.
Right.
Not many people know them when they were brand new.
Yeah.
Another band they opened for was Iron Butterfly.
Oh yeah.
They knew that they were brand new.
Inagata Davida. How many bands can say Zeppelin opened for us? How cool is that?
Yeah.
Not too many because they got big really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so anyway, they called us the American Led Zeppelin. Well, it was good because we were the only ones around like them that were American.
Yeah.
In 1970, when Cactus came out, we played a gig with Vanilla Fudge, Cactus, Steel Mill, and Black Sabbath. You know who was in Steel Mill? Bruce Springsteen.
Oh,
Is
wow.
that right?
All right, how about that?
Huh.
That's it.
There's a lot of funny stories.
Yeah.
Well, at least you didn't name the band Pigeon.
Well, yeah, forget about that. When we were on the road with Vanilla Fudge, we knew we were going to break it up and do this band. We were going to call it something with Jeff Beck and Rod Stewart. That was the original concept.
Yeah.
We went by in Arizona, this drive-in theater, and said, in big giant letters over the screen, Cactus. I said to Tim, "There's the name of our band. Look how big that is, man. That looks so big and cool. And Cactus is such a strong, you can't touch it. It's got the thorns and stuff. That's a great name." And Tim said, "Yeah, that is a great name." So that's where it came from.
And the Cactus
and then,
endures.
when the Jeff Beck thing didn't happen, we got McCarty, and McCarty got Rusty, and then we had Cactus, and it didn't do as big as we wanted it, but it did pretty well. We went out, all over the world, we drew 3,000-4,000 people. We did live albums. We did, it was great. But for this album, it was, the concept was to redo all of our big songs, or all of our songs. That I picked the songs from my 3 albums, and then I said, okay, well, let me see who I can get on this that I know will be on it. Now, Billy Sheehan told me when Tim Boger passed away, anything you want to do to celebrate Tim, call me.
Yeah.
I said, okay. So I told him what's going on. I said, I'd love you to play Parchment Farm because he's really fast, right up your alley. He's great. I said, but I also want you to play Oleo, which has the Tim Bogert solo in it.
Yeah.
He said, no problem. So when I put these things down, I put Billy on it. He did a solo just like Tim. It was freaking fantastic. And then I had to decide, who wants to play what. And I started here in my studio just with the drums. There's no guitars or nothing.
Yeah.
Parchment Farm was done. I set the click, 247 beats per minute. That's what it was back in 1970. I said, I got to do it as fast. I can't do it slower because I'm older. So we planned it. And I said, well, how am I going to do this? I can't get guitar players to do it. I'm going to do it myself. So I just hummed to myself, like the groove. I'm thinking, put it on here on the Parchment. I'm thinking this to myself. So I did Parchment Farm like that. It came out good, but really it was a lot of concentration, a lot of work.
Yeah.
The song I did was One Way or Another like that. And then I said, there's got to be a better way to do this because I really need to play to something. I can't do 12 more songs thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I came up with this crazy idea of putting the click down
Yeah.
And then with my voice, singing the riffs and the song and the solos
Mhm.
for the whole length of it. Like when the solo comes, goes, solo 20 bars, you know?
Wow.
And then I play to that.
Yeah.
And it was so much better than doing it the other way. So I
Right.
did the other 12 songs like that. So one of my interviews I was doing, he said, man, you should release that. Call it the Scat album.
Right.
I said, the Cactus Scat album. That could be something in the future.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Absolutely.
Carmine, I'm like late to the party. I was telling Vince earlier, when I heard the first couple tunes off the new record, and then I've like gone backwards because for some reason the old Cactus records flew under my radar, like,
Right.
and I'm pissed now that my old buddies back in the day never turned me on to it, because I've been doing the deep dive and I'm blown away. I'm like, how did I never hear about these guys? I mean,
there's
great
some
record.
great songs. I mean, I was contemplating doing Token Choking.
Yeah.
You know, joking, joking, everybody joking. Your best friends don't care. Run up, throw up. Hope your brains don't blow up. Notice that you're losing hair. Fucking great
Yeah,
lyrics.
it's great.
Well, mine's going a little bit. It used to be down here, but now it's going back a bit.
Hey man,
But-
you had the coolest mustache in rock and roll. No one else can wear it. Hetfield
It's been
tried.
there. I got to get it a little darker. I'm gonna have to do some just for men
Just
on
for
the
men.
mustache.
Right.
It's
I'd have
getting
to
a
say
little
it's-
light.
It's one of the most iconic mustaches ever.
One of my managers said, "You could never shave off that mustache."
Right.
So what do you mean? He goes, "That's your image.
Yeah.
You can never do that." This was years and years ago.
Right.
So one time I was having a slight nose operation, right? I had to make it bigger. No. And I had to shave it off. When I shaved it off, I looked just like Vinny.
Oh,
That's
And I
funny.
said, let me grow that back quickly.
Quickly.
I want to look like him.
Right.
Do you have that album cover of Sinister, where we have the stitches going down the middle, my face on one side, his on the other side?
oh,
It looks like the same face. It's unbelievable.
yeah.
Yeah, while we're talking, somebody look it up and you see what I'm talking about. Anyway,
Right.
so
Do that.
and then once I did all the drums and I sent it to my singer who played guitar and vocal and harmonica. So he would do like the guitar, vocal, harmonica. Then I'd send it to the bass player. So now I had demos of the song. Then like I call up Ted. I go, Ted, what do you want to play? What song? At first I asked him, because I'm in. What song? He said, one way or another. I send him the stems. I leave out the guitar. But I'd send him a demo of everything. And when he came and he played it, he played the verse with a different rhythm instead of the riff. I said, wow, he's not doing the riff. And I said, wow, but it's pretty cool. So I'm going to leave it because
Yeah.
it sounded cool,
Yep.
And then, like I knew that D was going to do Evil because he did it in a group called Widowmaker. In that group was a drummer named Joe Franco, who was one of my students.
Oh,
And I remember calling him up and talking to him about it. And the first thing I said to him, you're playing the drum part wrong. But yeah. And that was like years ago. But I knew that he sang Evil. So I called Joe. I said, you think D would sing it? He go, oh, man, he was a huge Cactus fan. So I called D. I said, you want to do it? I'm in immediately. I almost didn't finish talking. I got him on there, and I told you what McCarty said, and I got him on there. He sounded great. And Doug on bass, and then same thing with the video. We're going to do a video. I'm in.
Yeah.
Doug, I'm in. Doug and Ty from King's X are big Cactus fans.
yeah.
And I played with Blue Murder and Billy Squire. They were the opening act. I went on their bus. They were playing Cactus.
Oh, right.
And right away, I said, these guys, Cactus fans. So I put those two guys on my Guitars record also, and we've been friends. So when this was coming up, I said, I got to call these guys. I would have called Jerry, but he plays drums.
Yeah.
King's X. I've never met a musician that does not like King's X.
They are the
awesome.
best. And that's what I did with the Guitars record. I had Brian May first. When Freddie died, Brian was doing clinics. I did a clinic the same place with him. I said, would you do this? Yeah. I did Ted Nugent, and I did King's X. I said, those artists, if I put them on first, it'll draw other people.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it did.
Absolutely.
And it did. But I didn't need to with this because here it is.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Isn't that funny?
Wow. Yeah.
All right. That's the same face.
That's
Nice.
right.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's
Funny,
hilarious.
Yeah.
That was my idea. I said, let's do the album cover. Put stitches right down the middle.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know how good it was going to look, but
It looks
it looked
great.
great.
Yeah.
It looked cool.
Nice. Yeah, I was joking with your brother. I said, hey, after both of you guys were out of the house and playing, like were people like knocking on the door to your ma? Hey, you got any more in there?
No, but it was funny when Rick Derringer called for Vinny. She called my house when Vinny still lived there. He was only 17.
Yeah.
And my mother said, "Oh, this is Rick Derringer. I'm calling. Is Vinny there?" She goes, "Oh no, Rick, you must mean Carmine." He goes, "No, I'm calling for Vinny." And she goes, "No, come on. Vinny's 17 years old. You must be calling for Carmine." And she said,
Yeah.
"This is Appice. I know Carmine. I can call Carmine if I want, but I'm calling for Vinny."
Right.
She couldn't believe, that Rick
Yeah.
Derringer. And she knew everybody in the rock because of me,
Yeah.
I mean, I had Jeff Beck come over for lasagna, for pasta. I mean, she was a rock and roll mom. I
That's
used to come in for, I had a Pantera back in the day, and I had it for 40 years.
Yeah.
And there was a red Pantera, and I pulled up in front of the house. They had the hydrants, the Johnny pump.
Yeah.
Right in front. I pull right in there. You're not supposed to park there. I pull in there with the Pantera, and all the kids on the block go, "Carmine's here," And I would walk in. I'd be wearing my stage gear, velvet coats and scarves and everything. I go in there, and my mother would have like snacks for the kids as they come in. She was awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what was the New York scene like? Like, in the early days, I mean, when you guys got, Vanilla Fudge together and all that, there was a lot going on?
Yeah, it wasn't a business.
No.
There was a lot going on. There was Hendrix, the Cream, the Who, Jefferson Airplane, the Doors. And that was from '71. That was Jeff Beck.
Yeah.
That was the BB-8. But there was it wasn't a business yet. We were on we had the same attorney as this guy, Steve Weiss. He was an attorney and accountant for all these bands: Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, the Yardbirds, Herman's Hermits, the Rascals, Vanilla Fudge, Cactus. I mean, he had everybody.
Yeah.
So, if he needed a record deal, he goes and gets a record deal. When I wrote my drum book, he got my drum book deal. He said, the best thing about the drum book deal is you own the copyright. I didn't even know what that meant back then.
Right.
I found out later in years, but he would handle everything, and we were always on a salary. We got like $500 a week back in 1968, which is big money. We go out on a tour for a month. We come home, there's $2,000 worth of checks for us to piss away because they paid all the house payments, they paid the electrical bill, they paid it. To this day, I've never made a house payment in my life, or a car payment, or an electric bill. Like Joe Walsh, I have accountants pay for it. Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
And I own a bunch of real estate. Not just my house I lived in. And I just got rid of it all, and they took care of everything. They made the payments. They took in rents. They did everything for me.
Yeah.
And so when we come home, we got money. We didn't know how much we were making.
Right.
And we used to wreck hotels, and it's just the thing. Because figure this. You finish a gig, you're really full of energy, you're ramped up, and a lot of times you have a chick to take it out on, and the groupies and all that stuff. But then sometimes it weren't. So now you're going to the hotel, and TV went off at midnight. There's nothing to do.
No cable.
You're having a drink in the room. And, hey, wonder if this TV looked good flying out that window. And it got to the point where with Cactus, that my manager said, "Look, Tim, if you throw a TV out the window, I don't want Carmine being charged for it." So I told the manager, Mark, at the time, to write down who does what. So then it got stupid.
Yeah.
When Dwayne Hitchens was in the band, the second Cactus band, they call, hey, Mark, come to the room. They come to the room, and it would be one TV, Tim, one TV, Dwayne, one lamp, Then it got, that was the reason for doing it then.
Right.
Write it down. So when I moved from New York to LA, I was in 3 big bands.
Yeah.
I had 2 houses. I had a Pantera and a Jaguar, I was doing fine.
Yeah.
But I said, well, how much money do I have? And they told me the amount. I said, that's it? I said, yeah, that's it. I said, where did it all go? He goes, you remember those cars you used to wreck and those hotel rooms that you destroyed and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. That's where a lot of it went.
Right.
Back days, you had 25% went to the manager, 5% went to the attorneys. That's 30%.
Right.
And then you do it, get with an agent. That's 40%.
Right.
So before if you're making 10 grand, you're making 6 grand.
Right.
And then you fly everybody there, and you're paying the roadies and the truck.
What do you got left? Right?
Don't get it.
Yeah, the roadies were cheap. They were $250 a week back then.
Yeah.
Now they get $250, $300 a night, unless you do it by the week. It's $1,200 for the week.
Yeah.
But I managed to survive. I got a great life. I live in a beautiful house. I got a studio.
Absolutely.
And thank God I got the studio, because I've been doing so much work in the studio.
Right.
I did 2 instrumental albums. I did this Cactus album. I did some Cleopatra stuff. Their tribute albums I did. I did a lot of stuff. Some of it I can't remember. I did. But I did a lot of stuff.
Is your drum room back there tilting into the ground from the weight of all the platinum and gold hanging on the wall?
It is a little bit, actually. My wife has an apartment in New York and Upper West Side. I've got gold records and platinum records and awards up there, and she's thinking of selling. I go, man, what the hell am I going to do with all these gold and platinum records and all these awards? She said, what are we going to do with the furniture? What are we going to do with the clothes?
Right.
I said, right. But what's in this house in Florida is my stuff from L.A. At one point it was L.A., New York, and Connecticut.
Right.
And it's like, so we moved Connecticut and L.A., all this stuff to Florida. New York is like, 3,500 square feet of New York with full furniture and everything. So forget about it,
Right.
Yeah.
You're going to have somebody auction it. It's like my drums, I have a locker in New Jersey, I have a locker in L.A., and we have a locker down here.
Yeah.
Plus I got
what he
drums
means by a locker,
house here.
it's a small locker. It's a storage facility or probably a warehouse.
Well, the one in L.A. is big.
Yeah.
I already gave this guy, Don Bennett, a bunch of stuff to sell. He sold a bunch of stuff. But there's so much more. He's got a truck coming down.
Yeah.
I'm giving the Slinger and Drums BS kit, an Apex kit, and I'm going to go through all the cymbals I got, inventory, everything.
Yeah.
And then he's going to send his truck down and take it to Seattle where he's based. And then I'm going to think about getting out of that locker and getting something small.
Yeah.
And people have no idea how much stuff is collected over the years. Like Rick Nielsen here in Rockford, he's got 3 warehouses full of shit.
Yeah.
Bunny Carlos has a warehouse full of drums. That's just insane.
Well, that's the thing. For me, it's basically a warehouse. It's not like a 10 by 20. It's like huge. Like 1,200 square feet.
Right.
Almost,
Yeah.
And I had it filled with stuff. I had it filled with so many drum sets and so many snare drums. And I said, I don't use it. And I just felt that drums are meant to be played.
Yeah.
They're not meant to be in a dark warehouse or locker or whatever.
Right.
The ones in New Jersey, I share with my brother. We're always doing gigs in and out with those drums. But there's also some stuff in there. I had a thing called Slam. It was like a stomp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did a thing for NASCAR. You can find it called Slam Car on Carmine Appice Slam Car on YouTube. We did a video for them. They said, why don't you come down and play our garage? A gig? No, they said, play the garage. So there was a giant NASCAR fuel tank where they fill the cars up. So I got one in my locker because we used it on that thing. We used to use it on stage. Once I got that in the locker, I told my roadie, I said, we got to get rid of that. My wife she was on radio. She did a gig, the Gong Show live, and she has Gong Show stuff in my locker. She hasn't done it in 10 years, so let's just get rid of all this stuff. But right now I'm trying to do that to, I'm reducing prices on stuff just to get it sold. And like I said, drums should be played. That beautiful kit that I told you about, that should be played by somebody.
Oh,
that's 4 bass drums.
Yeah, Carmine, I'm a collector of sports and music my whole life, and I'm to the point now where I'm purging everything as well. The sports stuff, at least. I can't let the music stuff go. But besides your gold records and your drum sets, is there any one piece of memorabilia that you just can't let go? Do you have to hang on to?
Not really. I mean, I got a thing in my closet here that's when I went to Japan, when I had my solo album out, I was just out of the Rod Stewart band. My name was big. It's still pretty big in Japan. You guys see that Sex Police shirt?
Yeah.
I'm selling those at my Rod Experience shows. Right? And that's my ex-wife, and she was niece of Tellis Savalas.
Oh.
So when I brought Tellis Savalas to that gig, Rod was all like, wow, because he was a real Kojak fan. But anyway, those Sex Police shirts, you send me that picture, will you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, the lockers. And stuff.
Memorabilia, yeah.
Memorabilia. I have a piece here playing the Budokan in Japan. It coincided with my album that was coming out in Japan, my solo album. I took me, Tom Peterson, Rick Derringer, and Eric Carmen and Dwayne Hitchens to Japan. It's called the Carmine Appice Super Session Volume 1 in support of my record. We played the Budokan and other things. So they made like a 3D poster with like pictures of us on our heads of 3D bodies.
Wow. I
still have it in my closet here.
Nice.
I mean, that's the only thing I've had probably through the years.
Right.
Because I had boxes, I'm telling you, I had big, when you have boxes for office storage, I had the big ones filled with press. Filled with press. I mean, I used to write for Circus Magazine called Drumbeat every month for like 9 years.
Right.
Think about how many Circus magazines I had in that box.
Yeah.
I would just do the cover and my drum beat. The rest of it I throw away. But I had so much stuff in there. I said, I'm saving press. What am I saving it for?
Right.
What am I going to do with it? 77 years old. What am I going to do with this? I talked to you. I got a drawer over there full with press.
Right.
Up in New York, I got another drawer full with press. What are you going to do with it?
Right. And now it's all links now. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can just Google Carmine Appice and all this stuff comes up. I remember when the internet first came out, I Googled my name. I said, wow, there's 200,000 things with my name.
Yeah.
Now I Google my name, it's ridiculous.
When I was a kid, I could sit and listen to music with my brother in his room if I was quiet.
Yeah.
And this album was a mainstay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, some of my first introduction to music was you. And what a great, this album design is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
And
that was our logo.
I've always been a freak for fonts because it's so important. There's a lot going on there, but it's minimal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the music is fantastic.
Music on that album. I mean, we just did a box set. I don't know if you've seen it or heard it. There's a box set from 1973 live in Japan and 1974 live in London, which the London one had 7 or 8 new songs on it. And it's a big box set on Rhino. And they used that logo. It's 50th anniversary of BBA. And we were working on that just as Jeff Beck passed away. We sent him my manager there's a book in there. There's an actual book, with the whole history of from the beginning to the end of BBA. And my manager wrote the whole text, because he used to be a journalist.
Yeah.
And we sent it to Jeff and his manager, and we were waiting for them to say yeah or no.
Right.
We didn't hear from him. Sent him on a Sunday. We didn't hear from him. Wednesday, we heard Jeff died.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I said,
such a weird thing to happen.
And the last time I talked to Jeff, we and we were mixing that thing, and he said, everything is great, the playing is great, and it's humorous playing. What do you mean? He said, I would do something silly, and then Tim would do something silly, and then you would answer it, and then we'd keep it together or something like that. And we both laughed about it. We talked about how good the mixes were, and the playing was great. And that was maybe a couple of years ago.
Wow.
I had his number in England, but then they changed all the codes.
Yeah.
Right.
So I went to see him a bunch of times, and lately, 2 years ago, or whatever. But unbelievable. But that record is unbelievable.
Yeah.
This BBA, it's 50th anniversary. It's the energy on there is this on fire. It's flying off more than that's on that album.
Yeah.
It's flying off the you got vinyl and you got CD. It's just I had to because I'm the only one left. I was the one to listen to it, listen to the masters, and there's a couple of things was wrong with the vinyl. I had to tell them, but the way it came out was amazing, and you were never going to hear with Jeff Beck playing like that, even if he was alive.
Yeah.
I mean, he turned out to be the best of all those guys.
Oh,
He was a
sure.
But
legend.
Totally unique
it
player.
really sad. It was really sad for me for a while. It
Oh,
took me a while to get over that.
Right.
I can imagine because you guys have been friends for a lifetime.
Yeah.
And then you went, and you wrote a couple of little ditties called "Do You Think I'm Sexy" and "Young Turks," which blew the world up.
Yep.
"Do You Think I'm Sexy" was everywhere.
The biggest song Rod ever had.
Yeah.
And now I never get to play those songs. So I started a show called Tonight's the Night, a true Rod Stewart experience. I have a guy that looks just like Rod, sings like Rod, pronounces around like Rod. And we have the sax player and catcher that played with Rod for 14 years, and we do the show in two parts. We do what I call the wimpy Rod first. And we have the singer's brother playing drums. Unfortunately, he just passed away unexpectedly. So we got a new drummer doing that. But they play like some guys have all the luck, forever young. Have I told you tonight, da 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 da, forever, that kind of stuff. And ooh la la, we take an intermission. And then I come back, introduce me, I come on the stage, and it brings it up to another level. I go on and say something like, Catcher played Rod 14 years, I was 7. There's 21 years of Rod Stewart on this stage.
Right.
And I go, yeah. And they go, you ready to rock? Yeah. I go back and we start with Hot Legs.
That's what I've been playing all week.
And now we take it a level up. By the time we hit Sexy at the end, we even do You Keep Hanging On the way Rod did it,
Yeah.
which was my fault. And we do it, and it gets an unbelievable reaction. So by the time we're done, these people like up in front of the stage, standing up, dancing, and all that. It's great. And I get to play the songs again because I went to see Rod 2 years ago. About 12 songs. He played 8 or 9 of them, probably 8 the songs that I had to do with. Either, like You're in My Heart. I wrote all the background harmonies. I played on it. Young Turks. I wrote it, sang all the background harmonies. And used the drum machine for the first time. And I said, man, I never get to play these songs again.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of legendary songs that you've played on, there's no end to them.
Yeah, it's amazing. And for me, I'm blessed. I knock on wood. God blessed me with my career.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. Hey, I'm not worth $400 million, but
Who cares?
I've never ever I've been married 50 years.
Wow.
5 different women.
That's why you're not worth 400 million.
Oh, exactly right. But through all that, I've never changed my lifestyle. So knock on wood. And now I've been with Leslie for 21 years. We have a great time. We have a great house. We have a house in New York where we never go to. And we have a house in St. Martin that we go to. We rent it out. And I got a canal and a lake in the backyard. I got 2 acres of land down here. I'm like, rocking.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, just with that Rod
Large.
Stewart song, "Do You Think I'm Sexy?" Just that one alone, you probably helped 300,000 people come into this world.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
You're
But, you
back
know,
as
it's so I get to do Vanilla Fudge. We're doing a bunch of Cactus shows to promote the album.
Yeah.
The album's doing great. I mean, you know,
it sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
I told the owner, it was just going to be called Influences and Friends. And I told the owner, Brian, I said, you know what? I'm looking at Foghat and I'm looking at Robin Trower. I said, they're releasing their albums as blues records and it's
Yeah.
going on the Billboard charts and going to #1.
Right. Slash
said-
just released his.
I said, we should do that with Cactus.
Yeah.
It should go as a blues marketing thing. So he says, let's call it Temple of Blues.
Right.
I said, okay, how about Temple of Blues Influence and Friends?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we both agreed upon it. So for me saying, let's market it as a blues album and him coming up with that. And I said, well, let's change the whole album cover. We already had everybody on the cover because I told York, I want like a Sgt. Pepper cover. So originally when he did, he had everybody wearing the Sgt. Pepper outfits.
Oh, that's
know?
funny.
I said, no, not that. I want everybody to be on the cover, but not looking like Sgt. Pepper. you know?
Right.
So then we made everything like a temple. The whole artwork inside, when you open up the LP or the CD, everything's like a temple.
Oh, nice.
You know? So it's Temple of Ra, and now it's working because we got on this nationwide TV, radio on a bunch of stations. They added Brother Bill as a blues song, you know, on this blues syndicated, what do they call it, network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I did an interview the other day. I didn't realize that they had 63 stations.
Oh, wow.
That they're playing, and they're blues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
we were, and we're
yeah,
now last week we were #6 on Amazon blues pre-orders.
Wow.
Slash was #1 with his blues band.
Yeah.
We have more guests on mine.
right.
And then it went down a little bit. Now it's coming back. It goes back and forth. But
Hey,
it's
the
still
fact
on
that
these charts.
blues
Amazing.
albums are selling is great for the blues because we
Yep.
needed a little kick with the blues because we tried to cover them and it's just not there. But we
Yep.
love the blues, and so many people love the blues they don't even know it or they poo-poo it because
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really an old blues, like enthusiast, like listen to the old Muddy Waters and all that with the
yeah, like
records
he
sound
lived
awful.
3 blocks from my house.
Yeah,
he's-
I mean, but Evil did come from
Yeah.
a what's his name? I just forgot the name of it. Come on, help. Evil.
what's
Most,
it- what's
he had an album called This is his electric album. He didn't like it first, but he didn't like his electric guitar first either.
Willie
Howlin' Wolf.
Dixon.
Howlin' Wolf.
Oh,
Howlin'
Howlin'
Wolf,
Wolf.
Wolf, Willie
Yeah,
Dixon.
okay, Howlin' Wolf. So Jeff Beck gave me that album, Howlin' Wolf album, years ago, and you could hear Led Zeppelin in that album.
Oh, for
The
sure.
sound of it, everything. So him and Pagey would listen to that album. And you could
Mhm.
even hear some parts of the Jeff Beck Beckola album in that album. But
Another
I got Evil off that album. I got the
Yeah.
riff, the drum beat,
yeah.
was off that album. I played it to the guys in Cactus. I said, "Oh man, let's do it." And we did it. We did it heavier, and changed the guitar a little bit. The riff and the drum riff was the riff. My drum fills were different, but the actual riff and the what I'm playing on the drums was a unique drum beat. So I told Joe Franco that time that you're playing the wrong beat because the drum beat goes with that riff,
Yeah.
But that's really one of the only albums that I listened to front to back. There's Little Red Rooster was like something that Jeff Beck did on a song called Plinth, and there's still room for people to take off that. But that's, for me, the blues was what Cactus did. That was blues.
Yeah.
We did No Need to Worry, which straight out 6/8 blues. When I did it,
Yeah.
I thought I'd get Warren Haynes on it because he's a blues guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He did an amazing job. I got a government mule bass player, Jorgen Carlson, put the drums down. He put the bass, and he said, "I'm going to build it up and down where I know that Warren's going to build it up and down." I said, "Good." And then Warren played it live, vocal and guitar, live in the studio.
Yeah, he's
which
awesome.
people don't usually do anymore, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And, yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm very happy the way it came out. Since I'm the producer, and then the drum sound. I had a book called Realistic Rock, which was a big book, you know, instructional book. So I put the studio together. I got a plaque outside, Realistic Rock Studios, 1A. In the back is the bedroom. My wife was called a radio chick in New York. She had 1 million people a day. She was like a female Howard Stern when I met her. I mean, she had billboards all over New York in the back of buses, and you know, she was awesome. So she's got the Radio Chick Studios 2B,
Yeah.
2A, 2B, whatever. She's in the back. She does podcasts and stuff now.
Nice.
So yes, I'm having fun with it all, you know. So, but
Good.
I never thought this album was going to come out as well. My buddy Pat Regan is a co-producer, and between me and him, we mixed it. He got all the sounds, and we mixed the sound, and it sounds great.
It does. It's great.
The production on it sounds great, and I'm glad to be credited as a producer.
And you're taking Cactus on the road, right? You got a tour coming up with this?
Yeah. We're not. I don't do tours. You know, and if you're going to take me on a tour with Rod Stewart with my own plane and my own doctor and everything else,
Right.
yeah, I'm not going to go on a tour with a Sprinter van or a bus for 30 days.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw that you were.
I did all that, but we're doing dates.
Yeah.
You know, we're
Dates,
doing like
okay,
we got
you're doing
dates up
dates.
here in Florida. We got 3 dates: Clearwater, Boca, and Orlando. And you know, it's Clearwater. It's like 3 hours from my house, so we're going to take a car, drive up there. Everyone's coming to my house. We're going to rehearse for a day because we haven't played in a while. Tony Franklin's going to sub as a bass player, you know, and then we're going to rehearse next morning, drive up to Clearwater and drive down to Boca and drive up to Orlando and then drive back home. That's that.
Yeah.
At the end of the month, we got a date upstate New York and a date in New York City.
Yeah.
That's that.
Wow.
And in August, we got 3 or 4 dates in the Midwest, and then that's that, you know.
And then
So you're coming out to the Arcada with our buddy.
We will. I don't know when exactly. It's actually, I don't know. You know, we're going to do it without a doubt. We're talking about doing Foghat, like we got Foghat, us and Pat Travis. So that'll be the one probably for the Arcada.
Oh,
You know,
Nice.
man.
Pat is a real good friend of mine. You know, we did that Travis Appice record.
Yeah.
That's a record I keep forgetting about. I did 2 records with Pat, and we did a DVD. We toured Europe, toured America, and Pat's become like a good brother. Matter of fact, he's playing this weekend, I believe, down here in at the Black Box in Boca, which I played there with Vanilla Fudge a month ago.
Nice.
And if you guys are looking for those show dates that he was talking about with the Experience and Cactus, you can find them at carmineappice.net.
Everything's on there. Vanilla Fudge is on there. The Rod Show is on there. And when I look at it, I said, wow, I got a lot of shows this year, you know?
Right?
Yeah.
You know?
There you go. There's the Rod Stewart
So
Experience.
that's the old version of it.
Gotcha.
That's the 2014 version.
So how did it feel when this was presented at the time? Look at those. Look at all that gold.
Well,
Yeah, man.
they're up on my wall. I don't even remember where that double single is. Where the hell is that? That one there is a double single. I don't have that anymore. Where is that?
Huh.
Must be.
It's in one of the lockers.
It must be the ex-wife with my kids who probably took it.
And then also, can't forget.
King Cobra. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Carlos.
I mean, that was a shame because I said we're going to do it. I called the guitar players up, Mick and Dave, and they said, we don't want to do that. It's a waste of time. Nobody hears it. Nobody buys it. You can't really get out on the road with it. You don't make enough money. I mean, I got that. But I wanted to keep the legend going, so we did the album. I got Carlos Cavazzo and Rowan Robinson to do it with me, Paul, and Johnny Rod. Johnny Rod's in jail now for drugs.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's always in a mess. You know.
Yeah.
He's a great bass player and good singer, great performer on stage. You know, last time we performed was at the Sweden Rock Festival, and we have his live album out on Deco Records. But, you know, I get it. You know, so I mean, that album came out. We did a great video. It was a TGI video called We Are Warriors. starts out with me on the top of a building playing drums. It's tremendous, but
No.
nobody bought it, but the legend's still there.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, just the amount of people you played with is mind blowing. Is there anyone that you would like to record with, but you didn't get the chance to?
I like to be the drummer in the Police.
Oh my God.
I love that stuff, and I can play that stuff too.
That would be interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Right on. All right.
I just a real quick question, and then we can end it here. I was gonna ask. I'm gonna twist this around just a little bit. First of all, I just want to say you and your brother Vinny are both in the Classic Drummer Hall of Fame. You've published a best-selling book, The Realistic Rock Drum Method. You had a Carmine Appice Appreciation Day in Los Angeles for your charitable and educational work. You formed a drum ensemble slam where you play alongside young drummers. And you also have your memoir book, Stick It, My Life of Sex, Drums, and Rock and Roll. I was going to ask, is there any slowdown for Carmine? But I think that you answered that question earlier. So I'll turn it around and just say, what do you want your legacy to wind up being then?
Oh, that's a big question. Look, I mean, my legacy to be, a great drummer that started the heavy rock deal and back in the day, and that, I kept playing, teaching. I love teaching. And I love being able to educate different people. And I don't know. I never really thought about it.
I really appreciate about you and your brother. You guys are out teaching and, paying it forward, so to speak, supporting the younger players. And I asked your brother this, so I'm going to ask you as well. When you guys are sitting in a room, maybe look at each other and go, hey, not bad. I mean, your family name will be forever remembered as one of the, foundations of hard rock, period.
And drumming. I mean, drumming in particular. I mean, it's,
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was supposed to get my hair cut at 12 o'clock, and she's trying to reschedule. I don't know when. She said now. What is now? It was for now anyway. But I missed the question.
Oh, no. I was saying, you and your brother, sitting in a room, you should maybe look at each other and go, not bad. You guys have
killed it for sure.
No, we never really done that. We sit in the room and, talking about, so what are you doing? What do you got going? Like yesterday we were doing the video and all of a sudden my mouse didn't work. He built my system because Vinny's a computer geek.
Yeah.
And I called him and said, my mouse ain't working. I thought, well, maybe the battery's dead. So we're recording, and also, I put another screen in front of my drums. I have two screens there. I moved it one there. So with the green screen on it, I couldn't get to the computer if I needed to, back and forth, redo that part. And then the mouse, the computer froze. I thought it was the computer, but it was the mouse. So at the end of it, the mouse fell on the floor, and the bottom fell off, and I got the thing done, but then it stopped working again. So I looked, I said, maybe the battery's dead. But I had called Vinny already. He said, maybe the battery's dead. I said, yeah, I know. I'm going to put a battery in right now. But that's what we talk about. We talk about he had a little surgery on his, my son was there, came over, and my nephew, but we never talk about, wow, we left a really good legacy. We never do that.
Yeah.
Perfect timing. If that wasn't you, you're gonna.
No, that was the girl saying she'll be here in 10 minutes.
Right on.
So we got to get done in 5.
It all goes back that you came from a great family. It's obvious that you and your brother came from a great family. You were raised right. You were raised to give back, to teach those who need to learn. Obviously, you play for people who love to enjoy what you do. And that's all of us here.
It.
So
let me just say one thing. In the old days, Ludwig, when I was in Vanilla Fudge, wanted me to do clinics because they had the jazz guys doing clinics. There was no rock guys doing clinics. Right. I said, nah. I was like a pop star. No, I don't want to do clinics. Then when I wrote the book, they said, if you do clinics, we'll take 1,000 books and we'll sell them to the store. And then when you do the clinics, they'll buy books.
Yeah.
I said, okay. So I started doing clinics. I was the very first clinic, the very first rock musician, not drummer,
Right.
period, to do a clinic.
That's
Back in
awesome.
1971, you know?
Yeah.
And then that grew. Then Cozy Powell started doing it, and this guy started doing it before, you know, guitar players. And it turned into a huge clinic market. And whenever
Yeah.
I got a new drum deal, it was like, you got the deal, you get X amount of drums, X amount of clinics per year. And
Yeah.
then my book started selling. Like I said,
Right.
back in the day, I didn't know what copyright meant.
Sure.
Then I knew about it, you know, because I can go from this one to another company, get advances. It's just like a record deal, you know.
Yeah.
I ended up getting the biggest drum book deal of anybody from Alfred Music for a 10-year deal. You know, it's like 6-figure deal, you know.
Nice.
And it was like, wow, you know,
Yep.
it was
Money's-
unbelievable. Who thought when I sat down in those nights writing the book with Cactus, who the hell thought
Right.
Yeah.
that we would end up with that, selling so many books, over 450,000 books sold.
Nice.
And then I did a realistic rock for kids, which is like a kid's book. Did it
Yeah.
like a comic book,
Mhm.
you know, where you got me talking and there's a bubble with me talking in the bubble.
Yeah.
And very simple. You know, but and then at the end you get a certificate that graduates you up to the other book.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I always tried to make things fun, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Joe
Absolutely.
Morello, a great jazz drummer, said if you can do clinics or whatever you're going to do, education, play well, make them laugh, and teach them. I
Yep.
use that
Always
concept
leave
my
them
whole
smiling.
life. Yeah.
Always leave them smiling.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Cactus, Temple of Blues, Influences and Friends. Go buy it right now.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
don't download it. Buy it because bands don't make any money downloading. I don't
Right.
belong to Spotify. I will not do any
Right.
Spotify. I mean, I'll download something. I'll buy it on iTunes. I'll
Yeah.
buy it. You know,
Yeah, we
but I
always
will
tell
not
people to buy, never
download.
download.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Well, Carmine, thank you
You
very
guys-
much
you
for
guys
all
rock.
your music. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, Carmine.
You guys rock.
Appreciate you.
Thanks,
Okay, man.
man.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Talk.
Bye-bye.